Paint doesn't fail because it's bad paint. Paint fails because it can't grab the surface. If sanding isn't done correctly, you'll see peeling, chipping, and uneven texture, especially around doors and drawers. I'll walk you through exactly how we do this in the shop so primer bonds properly and paint lays smooth. Hey guys, Sam here with Arden Cabinet. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more cabinetry and woodworking tips. Let's get to it. On this vanity, I'm using a palm sander on the main body, and I'm hand sanding the door and drawer openings. Those inside edges and reveals are the most common failure points when painting cabinets. This vanity is made from cherry, which is technically a hardwood, meaning it has denser grain and is a bit more labor intensive than softer wood like alder. We have a video on hardwoods versus softwoods that we will link in the description. Okay, let's get started. Here's what you'll need: a palm sander, sanding discs, sandpaper sheets for hand sanding, a sanding block, a vacuum with a brush attachment, and proper safety gear, eye protection, and a mask or respirator. Now, grit selection is critical. If you're planning to paint, start with 120 grit to scuff the surface, finish with 180 grit. If you're planning to stain, like we are in this case, start with a 150 grit, then work your way up and finish with a 220 grit. Now, to prep the cabinet, first remove what you can. Take off the doors, pull the drawers out, remove all hardware, bag the screws, and label your parts. Before sanding, clean the surface thoroughly. If you sand over contamination, you lock it into the surface, and you also clog up your sandpaper, so clean first. Let it dry completely, then sand. On the main vanity body, the palm sander does most of the work. Here are my top 4 tips. Number 1, keep the sander flat at all times. Tipping the sander will dish the surface and round the edges. Number 2, use light pressure. Let the tool do the cutting. Pressing harder causes swirl marks and heat buildup. Tip number 3, move slowly and steady, about 1 inch per second, overlapping each pass evenly. And tip number 4, it's best to do work in sections. Do the side panels first, then the face frame, then the rails and stiles. Your goal is not to strip everything bare. Your goal is a surface that primer can grab. Now I'm going to show you guys a cool pencil trick to help you implement these tips. What I like to do is I like to take my pencil and make squiggly marks across the entire surface of the cabinet. It doesn't matter how many marks you put, the more the better. And you want to mark over the entire surface to make sure that, once that's all sanded off, when you're sanding and you see no more pencil marks on the entire cabinet, that tells you that you're ready to move on to the next grit. So if you look here in this section, this style here is sitting a little bit higher than what I'd like it to be. It's like maybe like a 32nd of an inch. So what I did here is I made a big squiggly mark here. You want to sand a lot more on this area, so that way you can remove all this material here to bring it down to keep it flat. And you're going to keep going back and forth, kind of coming into this area to kind of blend it in. And then once this big blob of marking is gone, you know that you have a flat, consistent sand. When you're done sanding a section, there should be no shine left. Any glossy spots are future peeling spots. If your sandpaper stops cutting, replace it. Dull paper doesn't sand, it burnishes. Remember, if you're staining, to always sand a small test piece if you're a beginner or haven't had much experience. This way you can see if you're happy with the quality of your work or if you need to make more adjustments before moving on to the actual project piece you're working on. After we finish with the body and palm sander, we move to hand sanding the door and drawer openings. Wrap a 180 grit around a sanding block. The block keeps the edges straight and reveals crisp. Sand the inside edges and face of the reveals with controlled strokes. Follow the grain when possible. For tight corners, fold the sandpaper into clean edge and work slowly. Once that is done, switch to 220 grit to refine the surface, lightly breaking the sharp edge, just 1 or 2 passes. You're removing the knife edge so paint can wrap properly and resist chipping. After sanding, remove all dust. Use a vacuum or air compressor and hit every surface including corners and inside edges. Then wipe everything down with a clean microfiber cloth. Run your hand over the surface, your fingers will catch defects your eyes miss. If you feel it now, you'll definitely see it after the paint. That's how you get a professional looking painted or stained finish. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe.